Knuckles Comic Issue 23. I couldn't help but smile at the start of this. We get a relatable scene where SBO complains about how it doesn't matter which politician gets elected anyways. And after Knuckles says that none of it really concerns him anyways, we immediately cut to him standing at the politician meeting with some other echidnas and the Chaotix at a park, with Vector snarking, "You were saying?" Although him saying this wouldn't really make sense in context. What provoked him to say this, really long after they'd left the restaurant to get here? Were they just having a conversation about Knuckles not caring about politics? Of course, Knuckles justifies it as him being a guardian going where he's needed, and with some dingoes protesting, the constable says that he wants to have a talk with Knuckles about having a better system. Knuckles says that nothing could be easier than leaving word at his mother's place, making reference to how the two get a hold of each other, and the constable talks about his recent conversation with a high counselor who had been brainwashed. The counselor had expressed his desire to keep everything low-key, since he was facing only a token battle from the leader of the opposition. We then see the counselor leaving a limo, and Knuckles lampshades this. "Don't you find it kind of strange for people who renounce technology?" And the constable says that they have a system to decide such matters, with Julie remarking that the ones who have technology get to make the rules. For some reason, despite the High Counselor's blank stare, no one, not even the constable, has figured out that he's been brainwashed. Knuckles immediately gets suspicious when someone walking with the guy, who not even the constable had seen before. Pravda then presents a new candidate for the High Counselor, Benedict, who tells them all about how technology was what saved Echidnapolis from destruction in the first place. He then tells the confused and worried people that when the means to restore their home to Earth was submitted for consideration, it was at that moment when a select few made it their agenda to condemn the majority to the Dark Ages. No it wasn't. That only happened after Dimitri tried to use the Chaos Siphon anyways. Benedict speaks out in defense of Dimitri and asks the people to ask themselves what they can do for the heirs of Dimitri, instead of what they can do for them. I'm confused about why it wasn't Pravda making this speech instead if he had been brainwashed and yet talks like a normal person when he seemed to just talk like a robot last issue. Some of the crowd actually raises their hands in support of him, despite the comic desperately trying to make him look evil to frantically try to distract you from the fact that his points are correct. But others in the crowd look sad at this strawman character, rather than panicked like they should be. Also, I have no idea what he's saying in this yellow text box because the writing of his dialogue is completely illegible. I can only guess that it's Hail Dimitri, but why the hell would any of the crowd support that when Dimitri had been demonized for centuries? It turns out the Brotherhood had been watching the whole thing. I like how one of them was smart enough to actually point out that he has a point and they have been hypocrites. And all they need to do is look no further than this room. I mean, there are literal cyborgs among them. Saber responds that all he sees are the means to combat the enemy on a level playing field. I guess by that he means they have technology and so they can fight the enemy with it. And then he comes to the insane conclusion that Edmund had never meant to suppress technology forever. I'm glad he's supporting it, but when did Edmund ever say that? Is he really that delusional about romanticizing Edmund that he thinks this? I like that he's asked where his proof is, because yeah, that did come out of nowhere. Thunderhawk, that name still makes me giggle, tells Sojourner to go easy on him, and that Saber doesn't like to waste time arguing. Makes sense. It's nice that he stood up for him a little, but I would have liked to actually hear his proof. I also would have liked to know what Saber was about to say because he interrupts himself when the alarm goes off. And the Dark Legion then breaks into Haven, knocks everyone out with lasers instead of killing them with them, and brags that Haven has now fallen to them. Well, that was ridiculously easy. Why the hell doesn't Haven have better security systems? Well, maybe Fake Tober gave them the security codes to get past all of that. Why would Benedict just assume that the constable was coming to support his candidacy? Especially when his arms are crossed and he's looking at him in disapproval. The constable says that it wouldn't be appropriate for him to take sides politically because he's the chief law enforcement officer, and then threatens to arrest Benedict for trying to incite a riot. He then says that Benedict has been aiding and abetting known criminals, that he still has warrants for a lot of his supporters. After the constable gets suspiciously invited to discuss this with Benedict in private, making me worry that something really bad was going to happen to him, SBO asks Knuckles confusingly why he moved to the back and didn't acknowledge the High Council. Huh? When did Knuckles do that? Knuckles gets suspicious again, saying that the police should be rounding up every Dark Legionnaire in sight, but instead they're allowed to walk around as if they never tried to invade the city. Knuckles then says that he owes those guys big time. He owes what guys? Certainly not the Dark Legion. Vector snarks at Julie, showing disbelief that she doesn't know what's going down, and Knuckles says that Julie doesn't know any more than they do, but he thinks he knows someone else who does. And we cut to the Dingoes being spied on by a menacing Echidna who's interested in the infighting among the Echidnas. Then General Stryker wonders how he can exploit situations to his advantage to get his people out of the filth and squalor. At least he seems to care about his people and thinks he's doing the right thing, which makes him a well-written villain, even if still not a likable one because he's such a jerk. Then the Dingoes get caught in a spotlight somehow, and the cyborg Echidna Zenin attacks them while bragging about himself, and orders the Dark Legion to take the General to the command center, and to lock the rest of the Dingoes there in the sewers. Espio asks Knuckles if he ever wishes things were back to the way they used to be, and Knuckles replies, "You mean before I learned my mom was alive and Echidna Apollo still existed? No! I never gave it a thought." That's a good point. I'd say he thinks this complicated stuff is all worth it because at least he has his mother back. And then they notice a truck full of unhappy looking dingoes, but before Knuckles could run up to them, the Dark Legion goes up to Julie Sue with some UFOs, with one of them saying he's been ordered to bring her back, dead or alive. Julie stays brave and snorts, "Suppose I say thanks but no thanks." I actually laughed at his witty reply. "Suppose I miss and accidentally kill you if you refuse," even though it came right when she was almost being hit by a laser. Sure is lucky she dodged in time despite not knowing it was going to happen. Don't lasers travel at the speed of light? Knuckles isn't even able to make a dent in Zenin's armor because he was rebuilt to be superior in every way. And as I expected, Knuckles gets easily defeated with sick attention. Although Zenin then says that one of his opposers might make look a hero. And again, that's not a good line for a villain to say because he's not supposed to know he's the bad guy. It's not like he was given a copy of the script. So it's finally revealed that Moritori Rex had betrayed Haven this way, as I wonder what the hell took him so long. He calls Dimitri and tells him that there's sign of Locke and Spectre within the complex. Apparently Locke can be utterly ruthless, and Spectre is a wild card. Really? I never got that indication. Knuckles then threatens to blow the whistle on Benedict in front of Dimitri, while he's hanging upside down from a metal thing next to Julie and General Stryker. With that, the story ends with me excited about how exactly it's going to get out of this one. Maybe our comedians will teleport here and get them out. This issue was written by Ken Penders, and it was certainly a lot better than the last one. I was pretty confused that Benedict was chosen to make the pro-Dark Legion speech instead of the guy they brainwashed specifically to support them. Haven gets taken over by Dark Legion, with the explanation for that being the betrayal of the fake Tober, who decided to take this long to do it for some reason. As a whole, I'm pretty excited at the Dark Legion returning as a threat again. They're a pretty credible one, as well as one with an actual believable motivation for a change. Because of that, I'd say they're pretty close to being the best written villain group in all of Sonic. All they're missing is a sympathetic leader. Instead, all of their supporters are written to be pure evil, even when it's admitted that they have a good point. They're still better than the Iron Queen though, who also has an excuse, but has absolutely no real motivation at all, and it's just another take over the world for no reason villain. She's just insane, that's it. I can't wait to see how Julie, Knuckles, and the General get out of this.